majestic qualities of Torah is that it's both timeless and timely. Every season has its own curriculum for Torah study. There are more apt and pertinent subjects to study at different points along the Jewish calendar. For the 3 weeks, it's less obvious what we should be studying. Chorban, Sefer Yirmiyahu, Sefer Eov make a great deal of sense. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, on the other hand, had a different notion of what made sense for a 3 weeks curriculum. The Gemara Menachos and Daf Kuf Yud and many other places throughout Midrashic and Talmudic literature addresses the value of studying some of the more esoteric subjects in Talmud Torah. So in the Gemara Menachot on Daf Kuf Yud recommends that the study of Hilchot Beit HaMikdash is so important that if one studies it, it's as if he or she has rebuilt the Beit HaMikdash. Fascinating idea. I remember very often Rabbi Hershel Schachter would return to this Gemara and explain that its application was actually a machlok and a debate between the Mabit and the Chavetz Chaim. The Mabit thought that perhaps this intellectual endeavor, this enterprise of Talmud Torah could actually accomplish the actual Maisa mitzvah, the actual performance of a mitzvah, when you couldn't do it. So for instance, if one could not, for whatever reason, hear or blow Tekiah Shofar Rosh Hashanah, then perhaps the study of Hilchot Shofar would have a modicum of fulfillment of the mitzvah. That's what the Mabit writes in his Hakdama in the introduction to Kriyat Sefer. However, the Chavetz Chaim, in his introduction to his commentary on Tzvachim, offers a different interpretation. That there's two different categories of mitzvot. There are mitzvot which are always available to us. If it's ones, if we're not able to read a shofar, that's just poor luck. But they are pragmatic mitzvot, and those can only be accomplished through the performance of mitzvah, through the performance of the mitzvah. There are other areas that, if more esoteric, korbanot, for example, which unfortunately we cannot fulfill today. So there's that second category, the best we can do, because it's not practical right now. We hope soon that it shall be. But at present, it's no longer available to us, and therefore we can fulfill it in some small way, according to this Gemara Menachot, through Torah study of Hilchot Korbanot. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe thought that perhaps during 3 weeks, the most important realm of Torah study should be Hilchot Beit HaMikdash. In fact, in the 1980s, the Lubavitcher Rebbe made sure that his sichot, that his discussions on Hilchot Beis HaBechira, a section of the Rambam which deals with the measurements and the instruments and all sorts of different features of the temple, he'd studied them and he made sure that they were written down for posterity, and he recommended that a very fitting time, a moment to really insert into our curriculum should be the 3 weeks. And no matter how which one makes the most sense to us, the Mabit's position or the Chavetz Chaim, at any rate, to study Hilchot Beit HaMikdash in 3 weeks could fulfill in some small way Hilchot Beit HaMikdash and the rebuilding of a Beit HaMikdash, and hopefully next year we'll be able to study it in the Beit HaMikdash.